just click over. Yeah, click over to your new stuff.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Happy 420. Woo, is the music still too loud? Oh, you know what? I'm changing it on here, but I'm not changing it. There we go. That's better. Everybody doing very good? So welcome to my office. I'm sure some of you have seen it before on some of the other interviews that we've done. This is where I work. This is where I play. This is where I make games. First off, I want to thank Deep Chrome very, very much for doing those portraits for us. I love mine so much. Let me put that back up. Kind of looks like me. Let's see. I also want to thank Mickey Wilson if he's here. Mickey was the guy that initially sent us the image of the Japanese System Shock art that we turned into a poster, and I'll show that to you guys later. But Mickey sent that along with a very nice letter. Thank you, Mickey. I also want to thank Derek Saleh. I hope I pronounced that right, but Derek is a follower of mine on Twitter, and he sent over some goodies to help fill out our big box gaming collection. He sent us Thief in the trapezoid box, Thief Gold, and Thief Deadly Shadow. So thank you so much, Derek. I really appreciate it. Derek also sent over this kind letter on cardboard with his rendition of our logo. Let me see. And yeah, I've got Carly on, so she'll be doing some Q&A stuff when I start doing some ZBrushing. So if you guys have any questions about what's going on, about the development of the game, Looking Glass, yeah, I'm not high, or just about what's going on in ZBrush, like what I'm doing, what brushes I'm using, that type of thing. I'll just be happy to answer any questions that you guys have. Cool. This is my first time seeing that alert. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
But before we start, I figured we'll do a little bit of show and tell. I just got a couple of packages in the mail, and I haven't opened them yet, but I know they contain some big box games. So let's check those out. Oh God. Ugh. Let's see what's in this one.
Just like those toy channels on YouTube now.
I know. I love those channels.
Just see all the cool stuff.
I love getting toys in the mail. I don't know if you can tell, but I like toys.
So many in the background.
All right, so a couple of these were just, I think they were just lots of games. If you go on eBay, there's a special category for like wholesale lots, and sometimes some cool stuff shows up there. So let's see. Wing Commander, it's a classic. Oh. Serious Sam. couple of loose discs in here. Oh shit. Well, yeah, this is why I actually bought this particular lot, but a big box copy of Fallout. We should give out some of these, I think, at some point.
Oh, that would be cool.
I'm starting to get some duplicates of some of these big box games, and I know that some of our community members are also collectors.
Yeah, I'm seeing everyone post their stuff on Twitter, and it's pretty cool.
There was somebody in our Discord channel just recently that posted a picture of a Korean version of System Shock 2, which I'd never seen.
Oh yeah, Toyosh? I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Alright, I got another one here. Let's see. Oh, you guys can't hear Carly?
I'm gonna test on my other computer to hear.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you fine. I think it's because it's coming out of the desktop audio. Hold on. Here, why don't you try now? One sec. Oh my god. So this guy, he just threw everything in this box without any padding. Oh my god, but there's some good ones in here. Alright, hold on. Okay, you guys can hear the music.
There was a little lag in the stream, but I think things are fine. I'm also testing my other computer.
Okay, yeah, there might be a little bit of an echo. I might actually have to put my headphones on, but we'll see. So this is really cool. The Quake box set. Let's see. Unreal. Quake 3 Arena.
Where are you storing all of these anyway?
There's a closet right over here that's completely full. So
Open it up, it all falls down on you.
It's in constant state of falling down. Here's Undying. This is such a good game. That would be really fun to remake. Doom 3. There's just 2 more in here. Ooh. Kingpin. And the last one, of course, is Unreal Tournament. So I got another box here, but maybe I'll save that for next time. Ooh. I forget what's in that one. Here, let me grab this really quick.
You know you have a problem when you can't even remember what you've ordered. I think the reason you guys can barely hear me is just because of how our volume is set up. Oh man, that poster.
Yeah, the poster is really cool. We had one of our graphic artists go through it and clean it up as best as they could, and then Had it printed on 100-pound paper. It is really nice.
I need a copy for my room now.
You know, I'm thinking maybe because I have you come in through Discord, sometimes it does a caster mode. I guess.
Oh. Oh, it would be cool on a t-shirt. I'm reading chat right now. The Japanese poster on a t-shirt would be the best.
Here, why don't you try talking now? I turned up the desktop audio all the way.
Okie dokie. Let's see. How's volume?
I should probably just start asking you questions so that we can calibrate it.
It sounds it does sound louder now. I was just listening to the feedback on the other computer.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Yeah, so that was a successful show and tell. I saw somebody say that they wanted to see Deckard's blaster. Do you guys want to see anything else?
There's so much in your background that, like, you could do days worth of show and tell.
I thought about doing that, just doing a YouTube video, like a
room tour.
Yeah, room tour. This is really cool. This actually has a God, I don't know what this is called, but it's got real hollow points in it. I don't foresee myself using that for any particular reason, but it's a cool feature.
For the aesthetics.
For the aesthetics. Yep, so I'm a big Blade Runner fan. We're still working on getting the classic Westwood game. Yeah, here's my police badge. So maybe one day. Yep, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee. This, let's see here. Yeah, this is all Masterpiece Autobots. And then this is all Masterpiece Decepticons up there. And then this whole case is nothing but Nemesis Prime, or black repaints of Optimus Prime.
Silver Dogs is asking about the rights to Blood.
That's a little tricky. They're split between Warner Brothers and Atari, actually. So that's why it's been a little difficult to get any kind of traction on that. But yeah, we'll see if we're able to do something in the future. It definitely deserves it.
There's so many, like, weird old games that I wish could come back and look nicer. I will always say Silicon Valley, or Space Station Silicon Valley, with, like, all the robot animals in the zoo. It's really cool.
I don't think I've ever played that.
I had it on N64. I still have it, but you would play as, like, the microchip from a robot from the spaceship that crashed into this planet zoo, and then you hop into other animals and use those animals' ability.
That does sound pretty cool.
Yeah.
That reminds me of another game. It was a real-time strategy game called Impossible Creatures, I think, and it was like almost like a Island of Dr. Moreau real-time strategy game where you could mix and match the various attributes of different creatures. That's cool. Cool idea.
That sounds really cool.
All right, I'm gonna set up ZBrush, and I'll show you guys the concept art for the Virus Mutant, and yeah, we'll just go from there. This will be my first time kind of working on this model. We're gonna be working off of the um, the model of the humanoid mutant and kind of turning him into the virus mutant. So I've got some concept art on a slideshow that's going to go by. So this is our humanoid mutant base model with
So gross.
with some Photoshop work on top. They've let's see, it was Rob Waters who designed this new head, and then he photoshopped it onto the ZBrush model that we've got, so that we can make some changes to it and get it more on, you know, closer to what his vision is. So yeah, I'll let these, this is kind of on a slideshow here so you can kind of see what I'm going to do. This is the final look that we're going to kind of go for. So most of the modeling's been done. I'm just going to be adding on like all these sick pus-filled sacs and these like bulging veins and making him super gross. And in the game, what he's going to do is kind of act like a ranged enemy. So he'll be like pulling on these sacs and these cysts and pulling out these like globular kind of projectiles that he'll throw at you.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with like the particle effects and the type of damage that you take. I think that there was some talk about taking like biological contamination damage or something like that. Similar to in System Shock 2, where you can get radiation poisoning. And I believe you can get biological contamination in that game too. I'm just totally drawing a blank on that. But yeah, let's get into this. I'll turn off the slideshow and then I'll leave up the little concept thing art on the side there. So I'm gonna have to move my monitor, so bear with me a second. Kind of have to move it out of the way.
I don't remember if you mentioned at the top, but towards the end we will be doing some giveaways.
That's right. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, at the bottom of our Twitch page here, it says that we do a key giveaway at the end of every stream, and so far that has been a lie. We have not we have not given away keys. So to make up for that, we're going to give away 4 keys at the end of this stream for some various Nightdive titles. So thank you, Carly.
It'll be good.
Oh yeah, falsies. He does. Yeah, his teeth are not showing right now. So let me
Grandpa.
Let me just get this all set up here. Alright, so I'm working on a Wacom tablet. It's called a Cintiq, and it is, I can kind of show you here. It is just a giant tablet that acts as a monitor, and I'll be using this pen to sculpt. I even get to wear a special glove with one finger on it.
Cyberpunk boy.
Alright. I'm going to turn up the music just a little bit.
Yeah, get some of those beats going.
There's his teeth. So I think what I'm going to do first is probably just lower this guy down to a subdivision level where he's easier to work with, because right now he's, let's see how heavy this mesh is.
So it looks like we already have a question. What files does Unreal use for models?
You can import FBX. .fbx is the best format because it's can contain other data besides like the polygonal 3D data. It can do rigs and well, actually, it can do animation. So you'd be in Maya or another program. You'd have a rig built into your model, and you'd do the animations, and you would just export the model as an FBX, and it would have the animations baked into it. And Unreal can read all that, so your programmer can set up different states. So for when your character is walking or attacking or that type of thing, those animations are baked in, and you can apply those to the various scenarios in a game. So yeah, this guy is 6.9, let's just say 7 million polys right now. So I'm gonna put him down to subdivision level 2, and now he's only like 27k. And now with the subdivision level so low, it's a lot easier to move around and start reshaping him into the Virus Mutant. So let's see, let's go to move topological.
That is one saggy pixel butt.
Okay. Alright. Just give me 1 sec here. So right now symmetry is turned on, but we don't want that.
Oh, that looked weird.
Yeah, we don't want to move this eye, so we're just gonna mask this out. That way we can move.
This is a very entertaining chat right now.
Oh yeah?
Hank Hill butt, Mutant Hank Hill, give him a try-up tramp stamp. There's a... Oof.
Bobby! Hank Hill.
That hacker ain't right.
That boy ain't right. I can't really do a good Hank Hill.
I try to make his one sound, he was like, whoa, or whatever.
So we want this like giant pussy bag to just kind of hang over the left side of his face. So heavy that it's kind of closed up his eye. Whoa. Silhouette of it to be pretty pronounced. The important thing about these characters is that they have very readable silhouettes. So when you are on Citadel Station and it's really dark, any little bit of light should be able to show you from a distance like what you're looking at and what kind of enemy you're going to be facing, because each one requires a very distinctive approach. So you wouldn't want to fight these guys the same way you would a Cyborg Elite or even a humanoid mutant. Let's see. Let's work on this other big mass on his head. It's really not that pronounced over here. It's more like over here. Oh, Rob wanted his ear like up here. And he wanted it to look like it was all blown out and misshapen. Let's see.
Really just as beautiful as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Alright. Well, that's some pretty good basic cysts there. I think he wanted it, yeah, he wanted the eyes still to be open, just barely.
They want to know if you can add a third nipple.
I could. Yeah. So let's leave it at that for now and see if we can get in some of these other big basic shapes. So I'm going to use the clay buildup tool.
Silver Dogs is asking, so how much level geometry is going to be changed from the original System Shock?
Of the level geometry?
Yeah.
A second, go turn this on. Right now we're using 100% of it. I was gonna show, probably at the end of the stream, I'm gonna hop into the build and show you guys some of the blockouts that we have of some of the other levels in the game. They're really just beautiful. They're all lit using colors to designate certain areas and certain threats that you have to engage with, like if there's radiation, biocontamination, that type of thing. And then there's again, annotations that show like where pickups are, or even where there's stuff written on the walls. So we'll just hop into some of that and I'll just kind of tool around and show you guys what's going on. So it looks like this guy's nose has mostly been enveloped. So let's move that down a little bit. It's not in the middle of his face anymore. It's like mask off his lips. It's like he's got to have a closed mouth anyways, so we'll just oof, God, this is so gross.
The grosser the better.
Make him kind of puffy. Let's put it like over here. And that way we can have this big vein come down. It's like kind chest.
He almost like appears like he was in a boxing fight and he just got punched real hard.
That noise is just it's gonna
Sound.
startle me now every time I hear it.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was streaming too. I was like, "Ooh, there it is."
So yeah, this vein, it's got like this thing that goes over his whole body, almost, and connects to these big cysts up here. Let's move this over here. Gonna hide his teeth for now. Boop. So, again, like the reason that I'm working at this low level right now is because the polygons aren't as dense as they are at the highest subdivision level. And it's just easier to work with. It's easier to move and kind of manipulate. And then once we have these big shapes back in, we can kind of bump up back up to that subdivision level like this. Let's take a second. Where you can see it's got all that nice high-res detail still in there, but now these other shapes are starting to appear. And when we're back at this stage, we can add detail and clean up some of these other areas. Like 2. So we'll start adding in these other big cysts. This one. There it is again. Good. I hope everybody likes this kind of thing, because we're really starting to enjoy doing it, and it's something that we've been meaning to do for a long time. And we've got some other plans for more developers to stream on opposite days as Chris and myself and Carly, so that we can kind of not have somebody always on here, but we're on here enough that if you ever really want to know what's going on, or you just want to hang out and see what we're up to, we'll be available. Just cool.
Yeah, it'd just be nice to be around and hang out with everyone while doing things. Be more interactive.
Yeah, I was not disappointed, but I was definitely hoping that we'd have more votes for Dota 2.
Oh my goodness.
Because I wanted to play a game, but this is just as fun. I'm not sure if I would want everybody to see how bad I was at one of my favorite games, so.
I mean, you'll be back here next week. Maybe you can do some gaming then.
Yeah.
More unboxing and gaming.
More unboxing, yeah. Yeah, we can do that. So right down here, there's really not a whole lot of polygonal detail at this level to kind of get the shapes I need, so I'll just be kind of putting them in roughly, and then as we move up, we can kind of go back and refine these things. Now this is weird. There's this, you can kind of see it in the concept art image, this one big vein. Right here, it kind of like goes in and hangs down. So let me see what we can do there. I could probably just pull some of his crotchal region down a little bit. Give him a
Gross.
sec.
Ugh.
Oh no. Ew.
Um, no penguin saying, I'd like to use the System Shock intro music for an animation. Who do I ask for permissions? I think you would just ask you, Steve.
Yeah, is it just for a fun personal project?
Yeah, you can just message us and tell us what it's for, and I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, we usually just allow anybody to do whatever they want with the System Shock 1 game assets. I mean, we release the source code. Um, you can monetize your videos on YouTube with it if you want. Like, that's totally okay. If you're making like a music track that you want to sell, like if you want to remix something, I think just as long as you give us credit, that's cool. Again, like if you have something specific and you want to just talk to us about it, just ping us in Discord. But we're pretty laid back about that kind of thing. I know that there's people have been sharing some of the fan remakes of System Shock on Discord, and those are all things that we're very aware of and we know what's going on. But we're just, you know, as long as there's just more Shock and more people are enjoying the franchise, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with, you know, people having fun with it. Alright, yeah, it's getting pretty chunky over here. So, I think what I'll do is come back to the face here, or continue with this really gross giant vein up the side. Looks like it goes, actually, this one goes down like this, and then this one goes this way. So I'm gonna try to separate those two right there. Move around to the back. I think that this thing on his head needs to be even bigger.
Bigger the better.
Yeah. It's gotta be like really just gross looking. And then his head is like kind of just totally misshapen now. Okay. I think that's kind of more like what we want. Let's see if I can bring his nose back around here to match the concept. Yeah, there we go. You still gotta do that vein on his head, his face, this thing. Have that come down like that. There we go.
I feel like we're going to be hearing that noise a lot.
I hope so. Alright, I'm gonna switch around to the back here and change my concept art so you can see. There we go. Give him.
I like seeing the little purple ball drop every time someone follows. But then I notice sometimes they fall out of the jar.
Yeah, you know, there's when we were looking into this and doing that tip chart thing, there's actually some pretty advanced physics going on whenever everything like kind of drops in. It looks at the shape of the glass and it looks at the shape of the PNG that's in there, which we change completely. We customize the little coins that have the Nightdive logo on them.
It's so cute.
So it's taking a lot of CPU power every time a coin drops in the tip jar. Alright, get this big cyst back here. And looks like there's another one like right here. So you'll notice in the concept, I think you can kind of see it, but his like arms or his like posture is bent one way, and that's something that we'll do once he's rigged. But when you're modeling, you want to have your character in the most kind of static pose as possible, so that it's easier to rig. And again, the reason that I'm using the humanoid mutant as a base for this is so that we can reuse the rig and we don't have to build another one, and for the most part we can probably use or reuse a lot of the same animations. They won't all be the same, but we can reuse a lot of them.
I just noticed the incoming doggo.
Is there a dog?
Alex said, I can send the dog in his workroom.
Oh.
Okay, incoming doggo.
Okay, it's the dog's turn. Oh, he's all wet.
No! Good dog. Animals are going to keep making an appearance. I show Artemis in my stream because she likes to be involved.
Yeah, the cats don't come in here that much anymore.
They would mess with everything in there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they, Cairo, you want to say hi? Cairo, come here. Come here. Oh, there goes the big box games. Okay, get. Okay. All right. The cat knocked over my bamboo plant one day.
So much chaos.
And it just went all over my desk and into my keyboard and my mouse pad.
Oh no.
And so the cats don't really come in here anymore.
Artemis, my little Siamese kitten, she likes to lay on the desktop keyboard a lot and just ruin everything.
Yeah, cats are really good at that, aren't they? I had these little test tubes out on the sink. They were drying because I was testing the water in my aquarium. I was testing like the ammonia levels and the pH and the nitrate levels, and the cat jumped up there to drink out of a glass that we had where we're growing an avocado.
Oh.
And he knocked over my test tubes and they like shattered into a million pieces. It's just
That cat doesn't like science.
Just cat things, yeah. Just
kitty things.
Just cat things, just ruining your life. That's looking pretty gross. Alright, yeah, so the bottom of him, the legs and the arms are mostly untouched. Let me just take another look at the front here. I'm definitely gonna have to exaggerate some of these things a bit more. Like off the body here. Oops. Just give him some depth. know there was some talk of like jiggle physics, so that when he's like moving around, these things are like sloshing.
Perfect. Just what that needed. Sloshing
Yep.
and jiggling.
Exactly. Let's see. This is actually supposed to be a bit smaller.
I mean, jiggle physics were invented for this.
Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna move up a subdivision level here and see if I can start refining some of these shapes a bit more. Let's see. I'm gonna use a brush called the Damn Standard brush to kind of create some of these like these gaps in between the sacks here, and to just create some like separation between them and his skin and some of this other stuff. So this has got to be more of like a kind of like push back, but also like heavier, like it's filled with a liquid, and so it's got to look, the shape has to be kind of like a teardrop, almost like a water balloon. Yeah, like same with this one too. And it's really important that we get that, because I'm assuming that there is going to be some subsurface scattering, so that when he is in the light, it'll like shine through the pus sacs, because they're going to be kind of like thin, like the skin thickness is going to be
gross.
thin. Yeah, it's going to be gross.
Next question is, so will the sacs burst if we shoot them? And if they do burst, can they cause environmental damage?
I don't know if they're going to cause environmental damage. It would be really neat if they kind of reacted similar to the way the blood reacts in Alien, where it'll like sizzle through the floor, or you know, create some burns or something like that. But that's a really good idea. I think you should be able to shoot them. Kind of like, wasn't there an enemy in Dead Space that was like that too? Where you could shoot the sacs on them, or I might be thinking of Left 4 Dead maybe? With the boomer?
Left 4 Dead had stuff like that. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I've played Dead Space. Like, a very long time, actually.
Yeah,
sometimes I forget it's 2018.
I really enjoyed Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2, but I just couldn't get into Dead Space 3.
I didn't play 3 at all.
I think that's kind of where things at Visceral started to go bad, if I recall correctly. They were expecting much bigger sales, and I want to say that they were probably pressured by EA to make some changes to the formula, and I didn't think they really needed to. Just make another really scary horror game. I do know for a fact that originally Dead Space was supposed to be System Shock 3.
Really?
Yeah. That was... I don't remember when that was. Was that 2008? That Dead Space was in development?
Dead Space 2 was 2011 when it came out, so I'm trying to count back. I feel like 2008 makes sense.
Um, and so at the time, EA did have the trademark for System Shock. And they were working with the insurance company that we eventually got the rights from. I don't know what happened. Obviously, System Shock 3 wasn't created. But, you know, they made a quick pivot. Okay, the dog's going to the bathroom out there.
You can see?
Yeah, you can see him in the window. He's
Oh yeah, I see.
yeah, it's, you know, working from home.
Just home stuff.
Yeah.
It's alright, my cats like to attack each other while I'm trying to work. And then they fight over who gets to sit on my lap versus at my feet.
The epic battle rages on. Yeah. That's primo real estate for a cat.
Oh yeah. My cat Apollo can barely fit on my lap. He is so huge.
But yeah, so yeah, Dead Space was supposed to be the next System Shock title. I mean, I'm sure that they changed a lot in between them working on it and you know what Dead Space eventually became. But that was always really interesting. When it was announced that Visceral got shut down, I was actually in the middle or about to do that trip to San Francisco, and I went to EA and got to walk around in the Visceral part of the studio, and it was crazy. There was like Star Wars props everywhere, and they were all on loan from Lucas. And there was a giant Han and Carbonite. There was Boba Fett's gun was sitting in a glass case. There was concept art all over the walls and all over the floor. It looked like there was just kind of a mad dash out of that place. Just stuff everywhere. And we
Sounds so sad.
It was really sad. There was cartoon drawings on the whiteboard of, you know, people saying goodbye. All this stuff from Amy Hennig's Star Wars project was like still there, and it was just, like I said, it was just everywhere. It was strewn around the room. So we kind of got an interesting look at what could have been, I guess. But along with all that stuff, there was like a big concept art archive, and inside was all this stuff from like the original Dead Space that was still there too. So, I mean, who knows what's going to become of all that, but it was pretty wild seeing it in person.
Someone's asking about how cyberspace. I'm gonna mix words together. How will cyberspace in system look/work? I think they mean like what are our plans for it at this time, but I'm not sure how far we've gone along on talking about that.
Yeah, it's been one of those topics that we aren't avoiding it, but it's one of those things that is going to kind of evolve as we start working on it, and we've only taken kind of some preliminary looks at how we want it to look, and you know, more importantly, how we want it to play. The original was very interesting. It was basically just non-shaded polygonal rooms with just the borders highlighted with like the whole RGB rainbow of color, and you're kind of piloting around in there as like just an entity. Like it's never really shown or described like what you are, but you're kind of in this space where there's like little bits of software floating around that you can pick up, and then you traverse down these tunnels that carry you along with some momentum into the next room, where you eventually have to defeat something that's there to protect like a entryway into a door or some other keypad or something like that. And the way that I'm kind of envisioning it is looking kind of the same, like maybe something kind of Tron-ish, where you're clearly inside of a computer or you're inside like the code of a computer. But in terms of like the control scheme, I mean, I would personally love it if it was like more like Descent or like Forsaken, which was another game done by Acclaim and Iguana, the same guys that did Turok. It's a really fast and furious kind of arcadey Descent type shooter. And I think cyberspace would be really cool if it was something more akin to that, which I would imagine that the original developers would want it like that. But it could just be one of those things where we'll do a prototype of what we're kind of envisioning, and we'll send that to Paul Norath and Warren Spector over at Other Side, and we'll just see kind of what they think. But that's kind of the direction we're going right now. It's loose and it's vague, but it'll give us room to come up with something cool.
The next question is talking about the writing of the game, about Chris Avalon.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk about that or not. I don't know. Like, it's not a very specific question, but just asking about the involvement.
Yeah, he's still involved. Basically, his role is going to be helping us rewrite a lot of the original dialogue that was used by the voice actors to tell the story, so that hopefully we can add in some more details about what happened, the role of these characters on the station, give it a little more, just some more backstory, just making their life and their death a little more personable and more meaningful. But excuse me, but the but the overall narrative isn't changing. It's still going to be the same story as System Shock 1. It's just going to be told maybe slightly differently. But all the main details are going to be a mainstay.
Someone's asking about will the dialogue between what's spoken and what's in the text logs themselves be more consistent?
Yeah, in the original, you would get the audio log and you would listen to it, but there would also be a text version of it available for you to read, and they wouldn't be the same thing. And I think there was a fan patch that was released that we used in the enhanced edition, where we fixed that so that it matched up. So that's a really good question. I mean, do we want to be exactly like the original in that respect and just make it different? Maybe we could use that as an opportunity to provide not only a spoken log but a written log as well, just to tell more of the story. I'm not sure. That's a good question. I think by default we would want them to be the same, but just because they were different in the original, that gives us again an opportunity to do something kind of cool with it. All right, so I just noticed that the shape of his head should be like almost completely round, based on the concept. So I'm gonna bring this up. Round this out.
Alex is asking, is it doggo time?
That's all she wants to do is sabotage my stream with the dog. Well, if he comes in here again, I gotta move these boxes because he like... I think he stepped on one. Oh, hope he didn't. No, 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 not yet. Don't. No, 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 because I gotta clean this up first. Hold on one sec. I'm gonna... I get to use this at least once. Alright, here's the dog. Hey, Cairo. Can you come over here? Over here. Okay, sit. Oh, okay, you're gonna lay down. Hold on. Watch me. Up, watch me. Watch me. Okay.
So cute.
All right. He's a good boy. He can stay in here. It's fine. Just as long as he doesn't have his squeaky ball. Alright. Yeah, sorry for the intermission. It's just one of those things you gotta do. Alright, so this vein looks like it kind of comes out like this.
Some people are asking like random marketing questions on how we're going to do stuff, but I think it's much too early to answer anything like that.
Like, what specifically?
Like how we'll be doing packaging, how we'll be doing marketing. It's I think it's a bit soon for that.
Yeah, the the only thing that I've kind of been thinking about in terms of that, anyways, like retail packaging, is basically like what we showed off in the Kickstarter for the big box. Let me grab something really quick.
You just await his turn.
So this is the id anthology. So we're imagining it to be something like this size. And then the contents, of course, are going to be a lot different. This one came with a comic book. I don't think we're going to have that. But a steel case, as opposed to like this year, which has the games in it. But like a foam core kind of interior like this. And yeah, the exterior is going to be the way that I want it anyways, is going to have that image of Shodan that Rob Waters did, and it's going to be like a metallic glossy kind of finish like the System Shock 2. It's got like a hollow foil kind of cover to it, which is really beautiful. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking for packaging anyways for that. But of course all that is subject to change.
Yeah, that's the only thing I mean by too early is that we could change our minds. Also, my cats are being super needy. BRB. I am back. Both my cats can't decide if they want to be in or out of the room.
It's like a typical cat conundrum.
Yeah, but they want me to follow them, so they keep coming back and like expecting me to follow them to play. But not yet. They have to wait.
My cats are at that age where they just want to sleep all day and then eat twice a day, and that's pretty much it.
I can't wait. My eldest one is almost 4 years old, and he still acts like he's like 6 months old.
Our cats are like 12 years old, I think. They're both 12.
Oh, so they're getting up there.
Yeah, they're older boys, but they're still pretty spry. They're like kings of the neighborhood. They've got their territory, and they go out all night, and they don't come back till morning.
My older cat, he's an outdoor boy, but my new baby, I think she's gonna remain inside.
So you can see with this, what I'm doing here is kind of just going in and refining some of the shapes of the bags and the veins. That's not what I meant. There we go. trying to get it as close to the concept as possible. There's like a tube that comes down like into here. Kind of wraps around that top sack. You know what they kind of remind me of is the feeding sacks that the humans are in the Matrix when they're hanging off that tree.
I know what you mean. Kinda.
The only
that
thing
makes it even sound grosser.
Yeah, the only thing that's missing is like having a little fetus like growing inside one of the sacks. I'll tell Rob. I'll go, hey Rob, should there be a fetus inside?
Oh my god.
He'll probably go, yeah, probably.
Put little baby virus mutants inside him.
Yeah. Alright, let's see if I can block in some more of this. Some more of this vein. Yeah, I mean, feel free to ask me some more questions about the game or Nightdive or...
Silver Dogs is asking, will dev tools be released alongside the game?
That's not our plan, but certainly post-launch that could be very interesting. I know that Epic has been putting a lot more emphasis on providing tools to the end user to modify games. It seemed like a very popular thing that they did with Arc. And even if you download the Unreal or the Epic Games Launcher, that's one of the options that you have, is to download the tools for that and to do some stuff for Arc. So if there's a community that builds up around this and wants to mod it and to work on it in that regard, then it would definitely be something that we would not only consider but actively try to engage. But it might involve working with Epic to find the best way to do that. This is like the wrong direction here. This goes down like this.
Next question is, what do you think Nightdive's future is after this game? Which is kind of a funny question considering we have a whole other team as well working on other things currently.
Yeah, we do. Well, it is a good question because it became kind of apparent to me that a lot of people were rightfully freaking out that we initially announced that the game was going to be on hold. They thought that we had spent all that money, which we didn't. But then they also thought, well, if you've already spent a good deal of it now, like how are you gonna possibly afford to do this? Well, we're going into our 6th year of business at Nightdive, and our primary business is to just resurrect old classic games that you can't get anymore, you can't play anymore for a variety of reasons, and it's given us a pretty steady I guess financial stance. So just a good way for us to continue doing what we're doing, and it's going to enable us to finish the game that we wanted to originally, and then also look into other projects along the way. We're working on a game right now that's really cool. It's going to be out in June, but we really haven't announced much about it. But there's been a couple of leaks on Twitter and on Facebook about what we're up to, so you probably have a good idea of what it is. But we put a lot of work into it, and we hope it does well, and we just hope that everybody really enjoys it.
Question is, where do Terry and Eric, I don't know how to say the last name,
Brocious.
Stand? Brocious, okay, I was like, pronunciation. They're wanting to know if they're still heavily involved together or if it's just Terry.
Yeah, they kind of come as like a package deal, actually, because Eric has developed, I wouldn't call it like a preset, but definitely a library of sounds and glitches and things to turn Terry Brocious into Shodan. And I mean, he out of anybody would know, you know, how to do that the best way. And so when she records her lines, we're gonna let Eric do the engineering on that.
Another question is, what games does Nightdive intend to re-release? Also, be right back.
A better question would be what are games that we'd like to release, but currently have no intention of doing. We do have. It's one that we already released on GOG.com, but we are going to be releasing Titanic Adventure at a Time on the 26th, I believe, on Steam. So if you were a fan of that one when you were a kid like I was, that's a really fun one to play. It's still really fun. The cinematics, or I don't even know if I call them that, but the interactions between the crewmates and the crew members on Titanic are still really fun. They're a little goofy by today's standards, but they really they're special in their own right for that game. Let's see here. I know Rob wanted. I can fill this out a little bit. He wanted like some remnants of its hair kind of stuck to the back of its head, like gooey, so like you wouldn't see strands of hair. It would just be like all matted down against its skin.
Ugh, so gross.
Super gross.
Another question is, regarding the rights, as far as System Shock 3 is confirmed, do you have a say as far as canonical plot, or is it freedom of choice as far as other side is concerned?
Well, one of the important things about us acquiring the rights to the franchise was putting the third game back in the hands of the original creators. We honestly didn't have any intention of doing System Shock 3 ourselves. We wanted the people who made the game and that were responsible for it even being created to have that opportunity. And so you know, I expressed that to them when we started negotiating what was going to become System Shock 3. And so kind of with that said, we're letting them do what they think is best. And we kind of just sit back and make some comments here and there, maybe some suggestions, but that's all that they are. We have full trust in other side and what they're doing. Yeah, I mean, what you guys will end up getting out of that is essentially a Looking Glass game, just under a different moniker. Let's see. So I think I've got like most of the most of the nasty stuff kind of blocked in. Gonna have to revisit the back just a little bit more, but then once that's done, I think I will move up another subdivision level and start refining it even more. It's pretty nasty bulbous.
I'm going to read this next question, but you kind of already answered it in a way from another question. But it is there still a large majority of backing money still in the collection for the reboot game development? Or and if there is, can you give a rough percentage of how much?
Of how much money from the original?
Yeah.
No, I can't. I can't reveal that information right now.
Yeah, I kind of already talked about it earlier too, that we're not out of money, and that's the important thing to know.
Right. Yeah. Though the game is going to be developed like 100%. There's absolutely no doubt that we're gonna finish it. We do kind of have a vague timeline right now as to when that's gonna come out, but things are actually moving a lot faster than we thought that they would. It seems as if the big change and the big refocusing that we're doing has really invigorated the people that we brought on for this, and they're working overtime in the sense that they're really excited about what they're doing, and they feel like this is what we should have been doing originally, and that's exciting. It's very motivating for everybody. So in the last backer update, we said that by I think it was like early September, we're going to be inviting some of the higher tiered backers in to do some preliminary like alpha testing. That's still the case. It's really exciting. I don't want to obviously make any promises or guarantees here. But things are going very, very well for us right now in terms of development.
Another question is, are we still looking for people to hire?
Not right now. But certainly in the future. I'm trying to think of who we'll be looking for. I know that we're gonna want to bring on an animator. Yeah, that's a tough question too. Because we have a lot of people that cover multiple disciplines. We might bring somebody on specifically to do effects, because the amount of things that you can do in Unreal is pretty cool, and there's a lot of depth to it. So if we had somebody that was specialized in just doing the effects, we could have some really cool stuff.
Another question is, what's the starting tier for the alpha access?
That's a good question. I have to take a look at the how many people we got in descending order. At this stage, I'm gonna say that we're probably not gonna have like more than 5 people. Just because we have to keep it very close-lipped. And anyone that gets invited is going to have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, just to make sure that they're not spreading any information, sharing screenshots or videos or anything like that while we're still early in development. And then as we get further and further on, I think everybody that spent at least $50 or more is getting invited into closed beta. So I don't know what the time frame is going to be between that first group that have to sign NDAs and backers that are going to be in the closed beta. But we'll be just as excited as everybody else when you know, when we can finally let, you know, open the floodgates and let everybody in. But until then, I mean, with these streams, I've given Chris and some of the other people that are planning to stream pretty much complete freedom as to what they want to show. Just because we feel like, especially now, our transparency and our ability to show you guys what we're working on is really important, not just in terms of keeping everybody engaged, but just to make sure that, you know, this is happening, we're still doing this, we're still making the game, and we just don't want to let you down. I think that's the biggest thing. Oh, let's see here. I've been kind of dilly-dallying around on the front. Let me go around the back.
I'm a fan of hard work before talent.
Someone's asking a question that's a little more narrative based. It says, is it true that the series as a whole is more or less about Shonen becoming more and more human? Also, what are your plans for the intro cutscene? Because it feels iconic.
Two-part question. All right, I'll answer the second one
Yeah.
first. The intro cutscene is really iconic for a number of different reasons. I mean, the music is really great. The style is really great, especially for like 1994. You get a lot of backstory and a lot of exposition in a short amount of time, and it really kind of nicely sets up the game. One of the ideas that we had was to make that section playable, so it would kind of harken back to what Half-Life did with the opening tram ride into Black Mesa. And in this instance, we were thinking that it would be a good opportunity to introduce the player to some mechanics, like for instance, hacking. Because what initially gets the hacker in trouble is him going into the network of Trioptimum, and that's what flags Trioptimum, and they send their assassins to capture you and bring you up to Citadel Station. And so that would be kind of a cool scripted moment where you're at your computer and you have to do your first hack, and you get caught and you get apprehended, and you're actually on board the little station, or I'm sorry, the shuttle that brings you to Citadel Station. It's difficult. There's a lot of unknowns about that whole section. It was just kind of an idea we had. If we choose to go the other route, like in the original game, we'll probably just do a cinematic with the same shots, same framing, same assets, or I'm sorry, updated assets. So we'll see. I mean, it'll depend on kind of the scope of work at that point. I'm actually going to save this. It's been a while. And then your first question about Shodan. Yeah, I mean, that was another thing that we spent a lot of time just talking about and discussing, and not only within our team but with other side as well. And the way that we see Shodan is in System Shock 1, she's like a baby who's been born with an intelligence that's even too much for her to comprehend. and so she does what anybody with any kind of intelligence would do, I guess, in that state, and that's begin playing and experimenting and just doing things for the sake of doing them without understanding or knowing what the consequences were. And that's why things get so horribly distorted. That's why she sees the people on board as playthings, as objects that she can manipulate to her desire. And with System Shock 2, I feel like she's kind of like in that angsty, almost teenager state, where she knows what she's doing and she knows it's bad, but she's doing it because it's the only person or the only thing it benefits is her. So I'm not sure if that really answered your question or not, but that's kind of how we see her. It'll depend a lot on what Other Side does with her in 3, because it seems like that would be a great way to end her arc as a character. And if they kind of follow what's been established with her already, we'll see her in a very mature kind of state, more godlike. So that's exciting. It's exciting to look forward to. Save this.
My cat is at the desktop computer watching the stream now. I'm not joking. I took a photo and posted it on Discord.
Let's see.
Here's another two-parter. I'll read the first one first, and then you can answer that, and then I'll read the second one. It says, out of curiosity, any opinion on rumors of a new BioShock?
Is it just a rumor, or has that been proven to be the case?
I'm double checking because everything still
is a
seems rumor. Everything is just like new BioShock game reportedly in early development or top secret project.
Top secret project. Well, shit, I don't know. I can't say anything. I'll leave it at that.
All right, then the second part is also, how do you plan to handle translations?
Okay.
Sorry.
I saw somebody at the beginning of the stream, they saw me drinking LaCroix, and they're like, LaCroix is he said it tasted like television static.
That's kind of true. I'm gonna say I'm a LaCroix boy too, but I mix it with cranberry juice.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it tastes really good. I'm
drinking.
It's like a mocktail.
Mango flavored one right now. Oh, a mocktail. That's good. That's good. Yeah, it's become kind of a staple here. I was drinking a prickly pear flavored San Pellegrino.
Prickly pear.
Super good. Localization. That's what we were talking about. Yeah, we're probably going to just work with a localization studio for the standard. I shouldn't say standard, but the ethics is what they call it. It's the English, French, Italian, German, and Spanish. And then for any of the other languages like Mandarin or Japanese or Korean or Portuguese or whatever, we'll probably support those based on feedback or maybe a survey that we run. I mean, I would love to have them all the languages. Zulu, no, it's,
Dothraki.
But yeah, it's one of those things that we'll see when we get there. I don't believe we'll have all the voiceover work localized, so we might just have to do subtitles, but we'll see. I would love to do full voiceover localization, but that's we'd be getting into another whole realm of scope just for localization with that. That we personally we don't have any experience with, which is why we would go to a localization house and see if even something like that would be within our budget.
Another question says, I know it's probably early on, but is there any rough ideas on minimum and recommended system requirements for the reboot?
Yeah, that's an early question. I can tell you what my specs are and what kind of performance I'm getting right now. Of course, it's very early and all this is very, subject to change. But I have it's like a 6-year-old i7, 32 gigs of RAM, and a Titan X, which is already kind of I wouldn't say it's a lower end card, but there's stuff out there that's way better. Like pretty much anything over a 980 is gonna do better than my card, and running the game at 4K, I get 120 frames a second, which is it's crazy fast. It's very efficient. The optimization level isn't even all the way yet. We haven't optimized it to its fullest performance potential yet, so it could even get better than that. So minimum, I would say, just to be safe, maybe one of the lower number 9 series cards, maybe 8. Again, my word's not gospel right now, but that's, I'm hoping that we can provide really good performance on a wide range of cards. Let's see. I think I need to switch my... You know what? I missed a vein.
Can't miss that.
I think it goes, yeah, it kind of goes down like this.
I just love everyone agreeing on Tsundere Shoden. It's perfect.
So that would be very interesting to have, other voice actresses in different language reprise the role of Shodan. That would be very interesting.
It would be. It's not like I like you or anything, Hacker. Baka.
Oh, Pappy Biscuits is running a Riva TNT. That's old school. I opted personally to skip the Riva TNT, and my first video card, which I bought with money that I earned mowing lawns, was a Voodoo 1, a 3DFX Voodoo 1. 2 megs of 3D, I think it had on it, and 2 megs of 2D, dedicated 2D graphics memory. I don't know if it's the same for everybody else. If you're kind of around my age or you had a similar computer or setup growing up without a video card and then seeing... Okay, hold on. but seeing 3D accelerated graphics for the first time was, it's one of those moments that, like, I feel like it changed my life. As cliche as that might sound. Can you? I don't want this right now. Come on, Cairo, out. Go. I think the very first game that I tried with a 3D accelerator was Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2. And I had played it quite a bit, just using the software rendering mode. And then I had my dad help me install the Voodoo one and switching it to, I think, OpenGL or Glide, and it blew my mind.
Here's a question for you. It says, this is a small question, but what was your reaction when you first played Unreal?
The first Unreal?
I'm assuming so, since they just said Unreal.
Yeah. I remember enjoying it immensely. I think that the thing that really stood out to me versus Quake, which I had been playing at the time, was just how colorful it was. But yeah, that was a great game. The enemies in that are called the Scarge or the Scar or something like that, and I thought they had an excellent design. And despite, I think, what a lot of people feel, I actually really enjoyed the second Unreal game, the Liari Conflict, I think is what it's called. Give this guy some nicer lips.
I like just reading someone say, Unreal was ... Unreal, and then that weird whatever, like, emoji they just use. I think we should go up a subdivision level here and just continue refining some of these shapes. At some point I'm gonna have to, I think, remesh some of this lower topology because it's stretched out so much from the original that, like down here, unfortunately, there's just not enough pixel density to really do anything with it at the higher sub Ds. All right, so here we go. It's the next level, I think.
stapler thing that's wrapped around one of these cysts. Let's see here.
His disgustingness is really evolving.
Yeah, this is where we can start getting in like ancillary veins and some of this like high frequency detail. It's really gross. Some of these other veins that are kind of like melted together. This.
Someone asks, so will there be female mutants? Equal opportunity for mutation?
That's another thing that we're discussing too, is like just including more variants, whether that be like more genders for the mutants. It's something that we're kind of developing right now to see how quickly we could do it. Personally, I would love to see that. I think that would be really cool.
Here's a follow-up about asking if you can play as a female hacker still.
Yeah, that was one of our goals. That was met, one of the stretch goals. Because you don't see the hacker's face, I believe that our intent is to still fully do that, because all it's going to require from us, I believe, is just switching out all the any audio that we have of a male voice, and then probably swapping out the arms for something that would look more feminine. But I'm not sure what else that would include us doing, but yeah, we still want to honor that stretch goal.
I like this question. Will the hacker still have those sick gloves from the demo?
Mm-hmm.
Or will it be more like the glove you're wearing now?
With one finger?
Yeah.
No, they'll be like the one in the Unity demo. When Rob first did that concept for us, we were like, okay, who's gonna have these made, and you know, who's gonna rep them, because they're really cool. Be awesome to have some like tech gloves.
Yes. Someone says, well, I think the original cutscenes for dying and such do show Hacker's face, so does that mean you plan to do those in first person?
Ah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I believe I even mentioned that earlier too about the cutscene. I don't know. That would kind of go along with our plan of having that first part be playable, which would be very cool. I think that it would give everybody kind of a new opportunity to experience something new, something completely new, something completely different. It kind of goes along with some of our thoughts with potential DLC as well, if we get to that point where, like I said before, it would kind of harken back to what Half-Life did with that opening tram ride. One of the other things that I thought was very cool about Half-Life was their approach to DLC, and essentially they just told the same story but through the eyes of somebody else. So like in Opposing Force, you played as Commander Shepard, I think, which has become the most overused surname in video games. And then in the Blue Shift, you played as Barney, who was one of the security guards. And you get to see Black Mesa through their eyes and through their perspective. And we thought that was really cool. So if we did it in regards to this project, one of the things that one of the DLCs anyways, would be through the eyes of, sure, okay, yeah, I see Silver Dogs, he says, those aren't DLC, those are expansion packs, sure.
Potato, potato.
Yeah, you would, in this expansion, you would play as somebody who's been converted by Shodan, and you would basically be like a mutant or a cyborg or one of the other classes, or maybe you get to experience what it's like to evolve through a number of them. But it would most likely be in the early stages where you're maybe hunting down other Citadel crew members, or you're attempting to stop the hacker. Again, they're just, it's more just fun ideas at this point, but that's how I would personally like to take it.
We're about to hit our 2-hour mark. Did you know when you wanted to do our giveaways?
Yeah, did we come up with a good method of giving those
so
out?
I have Moobot open right now, and I can test it to see if it works with our first giveaway.
Sure, let's do it live.
All right, let's see if this works. We'll start with a System Shock pack code. Let me see if we can do this. One moment. So, let's see. All right, everyone's entering the raffle. Cool. All right, I'm gonna draw a winner now. Kyosho has won the raffle.
Congratulations.
Don't worry, we have more. We have 3 more codes to give out for different things. All right, I just messaged you, Kyosho, so you should have your code. Perfect. Okay. So, let me do this again. All right, so all you have to do is the exclamation point and raffle, and it enters you in. I will give it like 1 minute, and then I'll draw.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna, I think just wrap this up for now. I will revisit this a little bit. I'm gonna keep working on it, but yeah, since we're kind of coming up on that 2-hour mark, let me hop into the game. Just do a quick little.
All right, Fluffy Wolfie won the second copy of the System Shock pack. I just sent you the code through Whisper, so let me know if you got it.
This thing is gonna be a nightmare to retopologize. Oh, I always keep doing stuff like this.
All right, this mutant, he's just disgusting.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good for a little while. I mean, he needs a lot more. He needs all this stuff kind of cleaned up and just detailed out more. But this is a pretty good start. So.
All right, I'll do another raffle now. So this time it's gonna be for a code for Turok 2. So everyone, you can keep entering the raffle, though I think it keeps everyone in.
So I think I just saved it. Let's see. I can bring it all the way back to where he was. And we can slide this and just kind of see a time lapse.
All right. I'm going to pick the winner in 1 minute.
It's cool to see it like this.
Oh yeah, this time lapse is cool.
Cool. Alright, give me 1 second here.
Alright. Mac D11 has one code.
Alright, let's load up.
Alright, I sent you the code via Whisper. Let me know if you got it.
Alright, we'll see if this works. It should work.
And our final giveaway is for a code for I have no mouth, but I must scream. So everyone can keep entering the raffle, and I will pick the winner in 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you for everybody that has joined us tonight. Definitely want to do more of this in the future. Thanks for following us. Again, thanks for spending your time with us. It's been fun.
Yeah. The time really flew by.
Alright, so let me see. Switch it to full screen here.
Oh yeah, we'll have plenty more dev streams like this. Like, we have Chris coming up again next week on Thursday. He's streaming from the EU, UK time zone, so it'll be pretty early in the day for us.
Oh yeah, you know, this is going to be the first time that a lot of people are going to see this in motion.
Oh yeah, it is.
I know that Chris was showing some of this off during his stream, but yeah, it might be a little laggy just because I'm also streaming it, but yeah, there's some crates. These are nice. Yeah, so oops. So a lot of this hasn't been populated yet. This is just kind of our our arting level, so we could.
Also, real quick, Joelfish, let me know if you got your code.
Oh yeah, here's where we took that one screenshot. So cool.
I love seeing this. I was watching last week or 2 weeks ago when Chris and I were preparing for his stream, and I was watching him go through a lot of this, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, did he show this off too?
Yeah, well, not to the stream. Not, I don't know if he fully showed anything. He was just showing some building. But when we were preparing for it, he showed me.
I know this room is done, or it's been blocked out anyways. Oops. That's the only problem with Unreal, is that sometimes I click off the screen. There's like the vacuum of space. It's looking good though. Alright, I'm gonna jump off.
Darn.
Alright. I'll fly back up here. Alright, I'm gonna hop into one of our blockouts.
It's like, goodbye, cruel world.
BSP. Okay. I know that Daniel just did the flight deck. So this is a block out. This is how we're gonna do things from now on. But this is how we're annotating things. Wiring puzzle. Lump of clothes. Chemical tank. If destroyed, this 200 by 200 space will become biocontaminated. Worker helmet. Ooh, audio log.
Cyberspace as a block out. That would be funny.
There's the camera. Ooh. Love it. Just love it. Empty crate. Ladder, ladder, ladder.
I really like that. Student's face will appear for a better future.
Yeah, this is really cool. You know, this is the type of thing that you generally don't see. You know, when somebody's developing a game, you don't see it in this state. But it's cool. Like, I just love it. Random loot.
I like seeing this. Just it's very humorous.
Oh yeah, look at Daniel left a personal note. This hallway was triangular shaped. Example is shown in the planes ahead. I have normalized this corridor. Something much better can be made with the space. Daniel. He's the best.
Daniel.
Isn't he the best? I love Daniel so much.
He'll be excited that we're sharing this.
I know, he's gonna be thrilled. He's just wonderful. Green goes up, red goes down. That's where the repulsor lift will go. So a lot of the interactables, oh, that's probably why he changed it. Here we go. Repulsor lift. Yeah, here's the AV Mutant. What's this say? 6 buttons will turn off the parts.
All gray boxes make metal grate sounds. The more you know.
Get the best solution is buttons 1, 3, and 6. Alright. So, let's see. I know that there are some really cool test maps. Test puzzles is really fun, or test pickups is pretty cool. You can kind of see. We actually modeled just about every item in the game, and they're all laid out here in BSP, or I'm sorry, just unwrapped and no texture. But here are all the weapons, and this isn't what they're gonna look like. This is just how they looked like in the original.
This is like the Matrix now.
Yeah, guns. So you can pick up there's the RF-07 Scorpion, and then we actually use the images from the strategy guide as our little temp art on where you can drag things in your inventory.
I'm cracking up. It's Nerf or nothing.
What's this? Ooh, sight vision enhancement. Environmental protection suit. Energy projectile shield. Multimedia data reader. Head mounted lantern. Infrared night sight unit. Oh, here are the rocket boots. Everybody's favorite. Jump jet. And turbo navigation booster. Oh, love it. Some of the puzzles, I mean, it's using some very standard artwork. Just nothing finished quite yet, but.
Oh yeah, what's the ball?
Oh, I'm not sure. I probably should have picked it up. But this is a test circuit puzzle. So you can wire up circuit panels. I forget what the solution is here. The controls are a little janky. Let's see. I think you have to go from here. There we go. Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with this too much. It's a hard puzzle. And then this, you can use this to unlock doors. Those are just examples. But yeah, that's a fun little behind the scenes peek at what we're doing. It's not everything, but it's a good idea of how we're approaching development this time around. So,
Did we have anything else planned for the stream, or?
no, I think that's pretty much it. We gave away
Cool.
the keys. We did a Q&A. One of the last things that we can mention is that in the next Kickstarter update, we will be sending out surveys to the backers who backed at the levels where you can, and I'm like losing my mind here, you can name an
It's
enemy.
the Human Corpse,
Yes.
Cyborg Elite, and Citadel crew member.
Yes, thank you. Where you can fill out your information so that we can put it in the game. We'll put your name on a corpse, or you'll have options whether you want to just be a severed head, a whole corpse, a limb, and then depending on how quick you get your answer to us, it'll be first come, first serve in terms of which enemy type you would like to be named after you. So, for example, there's not as many Cortex Reavers as there are humanoid mutants. So if you want your, I guess, your converted corpse to be named after the Cortex Reaver, you'll just have to get that survey back to us quick. But that'll be really fun. And then there's also the other tier where you become a member of Citadel. So you have to provide us with a portrait of yourself and your name, and basically a paragraph of what you want your final log to be. And we'll have that voice recorded, and we'll have your portrait digitized and done in the System Shock style for that tier. So yeah, a lot of really good things to look forward to.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, for upcoming stream, on the 25th, I'll be back streaming more of Don't Starve, and I'll make announcements through social media and Discord. And then the following Thursday, on the 26th, we'll have Chris doing more dev streaming. And then you're due back on the 27th, the Friday.
Cool. Cool, that'll be fun. I'll definitely love to do some more character development work. Or if you guys want to see me get ganked and feed in Dota 2, that'll be good too. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And again, thank you so much for joining us. It's good to be in front of you guys and to show you what's happening, and that you know, to show you that we're gonna work on this game until it's done, and you're gonna be getting exactly what you guys backed. So thank you.
Awesome.
I guess that's it.
Bye, everyone.
All right. Good night.